Let's get on with this.
Hello, everybody. Good day, morning, evening. Ricky Hi-Fi, Dick Hifi here with episode 3 of the 123's of the MPC2000. Working our way toward working with the MPC and the ASR together. This is episode 3, programs. What is a program? Programs are kind of the bank of the sounds. It's where you take the sounds, the rough sounds that you've edited, and you put them in an arrangement on the pads. That is, not in time, but on the pads, not a sequence. Assign them to a pad, and then you can manipulate them a little further through some parameters that they give you to edit them. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Shift and Program. If you look at the row of options along the bottom, you're going to see Assign, Params, MIDI, Purge. The first one is what we're concerning ourselves with now. It's going to be Assign. So we're in the Assign mode. If you look at the top there, you're going to see that we're in New Program. What we can do is just scroll up to that, where it says New Program, press Open Window, and we're going to just change the name of this program to whatever we want to do. And I'm going to start with a C. Again, we're using these pads to type in the words we want to use. If you hit Pad Bank, it takes you out of capital letters. So C-R-U-S-T, crust, program. And then hitting 16 levels just deletes whatever's in there. And then you got to hit Enter, or else it'll just blank it out when you go to do it. So now that that's in there, we can just hit Close. Another option that you had up there would be delete. You can just delete the program if you were working with it and you no longer want to. You could copy it if you want to make a copy of that, or you can create a new program that's empty and give it a name right there. Okay, so we got this thing, it's crust. It's empty right now. Going down into the page here, you're going to see pads. So by hitting these, it's going to tell you which one you're looking at, which one you're viewing, which one you're editing. They are all noted. So this is our pad bank, A, B, C, D. There's 4 different banks you can be in. So we're in A. This is lit right there. Note A05 right there, also known as note 40. They have the numerical assignment here plus a overall program assignment, 1 through 64, I think. I'm not sure. It doesn't come into play all that much. But A05, that's where we're at. So that's A06, A12, so on. So all these have no information in them so far. We're in assign mode, so we can assign them. So let's go to pad A01, note 37. Now where it goes to sound, where it says sound, that's where we're going to assign our sounds. So we can scroll up. I have a few sounds in here, and I'm looking for a kick. There's a kick right there. So we're going to assign that to pad A01. There it is. So let's say I want to assign a snare to this. We're just going to go there. We hit the note and see it's blank, and then we're going to see that's Johnny Snare 1, Johnny Snare 2. That's the 1 snare. That's the 2 snare. I'll leave the 2 on there. All right. Now, in mode, we're in normal right now. You could also group it with something else. We were not going to get into that just yet, but what we are going to get into now is parameters. So the parameters bring up another page with a lot of stuff on it. You're going to familiarize yourself with this page. It's one of the 2 main pages of it. The other one being the main screen, which is the sequencer. But I'm usually in that one or this one or somewhere else. The first thing I'm going to do, you'll see where I am. So you see where that's changing it. I'm hitting it, and it will change which one you're manipulating. So I'm in 2. That's snare 2. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get into this page, and it's not that big deal with a snare that's very short, but I'm going to put it in from poly. This is the overlap mode. It's from poly to mono mode. What that does, it makes it only play, it doesn't have polyphony. So it can only play that sound once at a time. It will start over from the beginning every time you hit it. You'll notice this one is still in poly mode, so that it has polyphony. If I hit it a bunch of times repetitively, it will stack itself. You hear that? So if I put it in mono, it kills itself as it goes. It's not really how I wanted to say that, but anyway, you get the point. And then let's go back to assign real quick. I'm going to go where we assign the notes. I'm going to put a hi-hat right here. Where did I put it? There it is. Johnny hi-hat. So we'll go to parameters. I'm going to put that in mono as well. Now, I want this hi-hat. It's subtle. It's there. I mean, it's part of the thing. But I want it to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to go to this filter section right here. I'm going to leave the frequency at 100, but I'm going to pump up the resonance just a little bit. Now, as I pump it up a lot, it gets very brighter, and it also gets a little nasal is not the right word, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I want to add just a little brightness to that, so I'm going to pump that up to, say, 5 or 6. Another thing I could do is tune it up. So if I go to this over here, all the way to the right, tune, this is your pitch basically. So let me tune that up a little bit. I mean, you can tune it up a lot if you want, but that's not what we want to do. I'm going to go over here and tune it up, say 5 steps. Now, one thing we don't have in here is a high-pass filter, so I cannot roll off any of the low end on this. So if I wanted to do that, I would maybe sample it through something else, somehow get it back into my machine after going through a high-pass filter to roll off some of that low end. But that's what we got right now. The bottom doesn't really bother me because it's part of the sound when I'm going to make up a kit. The attack is going to adjust the way that the sample opens. So you'll notice all the bright attack is gone. You know what? I'm going to use the snare as an example because the hi-hat is subtle. All right. So the attack here. Why is my resonance on this thing? It should be on 0. I must have accidentally done that. If we scoot that up, you hear the sharpness of that is coming off because it's taking that very front of it and rolling it down volume-wise. So that's on 0 sharp, 1 still pretty sharp, 2 you start to hear it, and by 3 you can definitely tell. Different instruments, it works differently in terms of what it's doing musically. You just play around with it. The decay is the opposite of that. You're going to be controlling the envelope on the end. The envelope is just basically the volume contour of it. So if we take and roll this down, you see we don't have that air at the end of it anymore as we did when we had it full bore. So that's cool right there. I like that. You could also change the decay from starting at the beginning or starting at the end. So it's just a different place to start it from, and you can fool around with that and get that going. That's pretty much everything in this front of this page. Now, this is where the open window section really comes in, and you will find a lot of things here. Open window on that. Mute assigns. We're going to get into that in a subsequent episode. Subsequent or in the future? I don't know. What's the difference? Tune. Again, if you open this, you can edit pitch differently. We're not going to get into that right now. After you get the basics of it, you can explore this thing and get in here and poke around in it and figure out what all these things do. But they're not super critical right now. I will touch this. This is the low-pass filter, so we can roll off some of this high end, and I always like to, especially my drums. I bring them to about 89. That sounds good. Do the same thing with this kick. 89, 90, something like that. I'm going to leave that hi-hat right where it is. And I can roll it down a little. Plus, with the resonance, it gives it a funky little sound. So again, pitch, I could pitch that up if I wanted to. You can use this to scroll with, or you can punch in a number and hit enter. That was minus 45 because I was at 0. But I can do this, go to the positive side, and then hit 45, and now it's positive 45. All right. So that's basically it. Now, if you want to adjust the volume, and this is really simple, but it took me forever to figure out, hit shift, hold down shift, of course, and press mixer. And there you got a little volume on each of your assigned pads. So you can scroll this down, all the way down, obviously all the way up. Above that, you're going to see a dial. If you just put your cursor up there, you can pan it left and right. You're not going to hear that in the example, but trust me, it works. Some of the other things you'll see in there is your individual outputs, your effect sends. We're not going to get into that at all right now. You don't see that many effects units on these things, and the individual outs is just basically the same system sending it out to a breakout, channels 1 through 8. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's not too much more than the programs to know about, but like I said, you will spend a lot of time in that page poking around, fine-tuning your thing, especially with the pitch, the low-pass filter, and just experimenting with that. So there are a couple more things we'll get back to in that, but that's the basics of it. So we'll see you in the next episode.
Watch for it.